Okay, we're going to start right now. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching us from. First of all, I apologize for the hoarseness in my voice. I am recovering from a cold. The weather in Curitiba is not so, it gets hot and gets cold in the same day, like 3 times a day. So I hope you can hear me well. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Eduardo. I am a director partner at ICITIES Smart City Solutions. And I myself have been passionate about smart cities and the ESG subjects for more than 11 years now. And it's an enormous pleasure to be here today, mediating this session together with Paulo and the other amazing professionals that may be here with us in a couple of minutes. 2 of them I know personally, Paulo, that's here, big good friend, and lots of synergies that we work with, and Andrea from France. Well, this session, the session today is about innovation and sustainability in cities. It's a subject that we all here love to talk about. And I'm sure that these guys here are amongst the best professionals to cover this topic. So let me first introduce Paulo, that's here. Paulo, Cruz, Filho, works with social impact and expansion of human and businesses awareness. He's a co-founder and soul of Flowing, and we Flow Together for a Better World, an international B company dedicated to expanding the awareness and impact of people, communities, organizations, and businesses. He works internationally for B Lab as a global manager of the EMC Multinationals Program. He's president of the ESG Committee of the World Trade Center Brasil Sul, and co-founder of AUDA, Business with Purpose and Soul. Also co-founder of Integral Works, Business and Human Evolution, Betterness podcast host, PhD in Strategic Management of Social Enterprises from UQAM, the Université du Québec à Montréal in Canada, author of the books Integral Leadership, The Evolution of Human Beings and Organizations, and also the book Social Entrepreneurship and Social Innovation in the Brazilian Context. He's also founder and coordinator of the executive program Integral Leadership Program and Postgraduate Studies in Entrepreneurship and Social Business at PHI Business School. And at last and not least, father of Julie, 4 years old, and Frederico, 1 year old. Paulo, a pleasure to be here with you again. Welcome to this event. I pass the word for you.
Thank you so much, Eduardo. Thank you so much, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to exchange a little bit about how can we improve our impact in our cities. So Eduardo, just for me to know, just a welcome introduction, or I should start talking already about the topic that I will present here?
If we had the other panelists, it would be just a welcome, but I'll let you start your presentation, and then I introduce the other panelists after your presentation. Okay?
Okay. Of course, it will be a pleasure.
So feel free to share your screen and start your presentation.
Okay, amazing. So, so thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. I've been working with social impact and trying to understand how us as people and organizations can improve our impact, our positive impact in this world. And of course, as soon as we start going through this path, we also realize that our lives happens in the cities where we live. So everything happens here. We are looking for the global, we are looking for countries, we are trying to understand how the interconnectedness and the interdependence that we have between us and every other single human being in the world happens. But our daily lives happens in the city, right? So you take your kids to the school, you go to work, you go to the supermarket. It also happens in the cities. So how can we improve our impact in our cities? Because if we achieve that, So all the cities will become a network of well-being. So this is what was striking me, that, okay, so how can we bring things that is happening on the organizations, ESG impact to the cities? And this is how I started my path on that topic. And I would like to share with you some insights and some things that are happening around the world about it. And of course, we're going to have the other panelists or other discussions that will complement it. And of course, I'm completely free for questions. So if you have anything to say or ask, you can write on the chat, and then I will answer right. Or at the end, we will have the moment for
yeah, I'll be organizing the questions here, and you don't have to worry about that.
Okay, amazing, amazing. Okay, so let's go. I will share my screen, and then I can thank you, Eduardo, for presenting me. So I'm not talking about me anymore. Amazing. So we are in a crisis in our system. This traditional and of course self-updating model of integrating people, business, and the planet, we kind of reached some limits there. We are still growing, and if we think about the donuts economy, in some of the topics we are going past out of the limits of the donut, which is the possible possible healthy development that we can have. So we are in some kind of crisis on such of these topics. So how can we address that? And we are also seeing many movements that are going in this direction, like to not going against the markets, just like this image can mainly show to everyone, like the kid against the bull, but actually it's integrating it. So actually we have developed until now, and it's great. We have a high expectancy of life. We have many developments, but now we need to go to another mindset of growing. So this is happening all over this is happening inside the cities also. So we are living a global and unprecedented global culture change. And of course, with the pandemic, we all felt that, like, everything is faster, everything is changing, everything is connected, and even more than it was before. So we have to be able to manage and to live our new lives on this environment that won't change. Like, time won't go slower than it's going now. So it's just getting faster. So we are moving from the value for the shareholders only. So only the shareholders are the main component and the main focus of attention of companies. We are going directly to stakeholder governance, and this is real. This is happening. My work at B-Lab with the multinationals is exactly trying to help them how to take these next steps. So how can I bring my shareholders with me, but looking for a stakeholder governance? So, and this is a challenge because we've been on the last at least 500 years on a path of economic growth that lead us to the economic model that we have today. So we are on this path of changing, and we are seeing many movements that are making this possible. So conscious capitalism, the SDGs, social business, inclusive business, and of course the ESG, the explosion of the ESG recently just show that. And we have one movement that I really want to explain it to you and show how it is connected to the cities, which is the B movement, the movement of the big corporations that uses the force of the business as a force for good. So how can we really integrate business and positive impact together? So as I grow in my business, I generate more positive impact. We should not treat this as a trade-off. Actually, it's together, like they are integrated. And we are seeing more and more, and this is where the money is going now. So the ESG explosion that we saw, it was because of the finance sector also is looking at that. So we are having all the conditions for this to happen, including our own consciousness expansion of our humanity right now. So the big idea of the B movement is to create an inclusive, equitable, and regenerative economy system for all people and the planet, and then bring this to the cities to create an inclusive, equitable, and regenerative economic in the city. And this is amazing, and we have a program for that, so I'm gonna show it to you. So what we want to do is redefine the concept of success. So success is based on money, and at the same time, it's based on improving the well-being for all. So it's like I'm not accessing the value of a person based on her salary only. I'm valuing the base of a person as it's what she does with her family, with their neighbors, and the same is with the companies. Like they have a much more broad impact that they generate besides only the money that they create. So really this transition. And the B Lab, what they do is, in order to help create this new economic system, they talk to everyone. So they have a line for universities, the B Academy, they have a line for governments, so they work with governments to create laws that will create companies that are a force for good. They work with the research centers, they work with the media, and of course, they work with the companies, and they work with the cities. So about the companies, there is a platform, a free platform that any company can enter. It's called the B Impact Assessment, and can measure their impact for free. And if they achieve 80 points or more, they can apply for a certification and become a certified B Corp. Just as Ben & Jerry's, just as Danone, just as Natura, and many other companies. So then you will be analyzed and go through a process of evaluation, and then we will pay each year for the certification as soon as you prove that you are generating impact. So this is for the companies. This is quite amazing. This is growing so fast. And also there is another platform that talks to this one, that it was created with the UN, and it's called the ESG Action Manager. And you can do the same thing, like measure your impact to each of one of the SDGs. And also is absolutely free. Any company can go, and the two platforms talk to each other. So you can use both. So companies now have many tools to be a force for good. Amazing. And now we are going to talk about cities, but between the companies and the cities, there is one more player that is major on that equation, on that formula, which is people. So we also have to be the example. I can't go to a company and say, hey, you should be more sustainable. If my way of life, if my lifestyle is not sustainable, if I keep like letting the water run while I am washing my hair, or if I am consuming a lot of plastic and I'm not separating my trash. So from these small things to the biggest, I have to be the example. So what is my intention? So 5 dimensions of the companies: governance, workers, community, environment, and customers, we can apply to our lives. So how can I be a more conscious person, and what is my intention to the world? How am I in my relationships? Am I at service of my community, my neighbors, my lifestyle, as I was saying? And how can I bring this to my work, to my professional life? So people have to be the example. So the organizations will be what they want. And finally, the cities. And the program that I want to show you about is the Cities Can Be, which is a program designed for cities so that they can be like a B city, like a new economy city. And any city in the world could do that. And it's completely based on the community of the city. So actually the B Lab is just there helping. The objective of this program that was created in a city. So it was totally from the bottom up. And it exists so that all the actors of one city can participate collaboratively into the sustainable development of that city. And I have some examples. Let me open here the website so you can see. This is the website of the Cities Can Be. Here. And it is quite amazing because the Cities Can Be, they are based on one major topic, which is extreme collaboration. So there is even a book called Extreme Collaboration that is now available that explains this concept. But basically, it is to achieve a more sustainable city, you have to work with people that you probably would never sit on the same table. But you all have the same objective, having a better city for everyone. So this is extreme collaboration, and there are a methodology to work with that. So it regards considering that each player has an agenda, and it's okay if they have an agenda. It's okay if the company sells a product and will profit from this network to sell its product. Because if, for example, it's a B Corp and they are selling the product at the same time generating impact, excellent. So the idea is integrating people with their demands, and it's okay, everyone has legitimate demands, thinking about the same objective. So this is the extreme collaboration methodology, and it's quite amazing. So actually the objectives of a city can be is to cultivate these collaborative networks, engaging the private sector with the public sector, with the civil society to create a more sustainable city. And it works close with other movements. So for example, the resilient cities, or some people have a plan with the UN for 2035. So it's working with exists already, not creating anything new, but putting everyone in the same network for good. So looking for synergies and engage, of course, all the people of the city, include, and also the young people. So they will be the next entrepreneurs. And you have many cities that already are B cities, let's say. And two of the most impressive ones, between others, is Santiago. Santiago mais B is quite amazing. They are all connected to the entire city of Santiago, and they work on many topics: urban mobility, environment, security, risks, equality. And actually, you can participate as a company, you can participate as a big organization, as a foundation, third sector, as citizen, you can participate on that. And there are many projects. So for example, Asunción in Paraguay, they have now a program which is called the identity of my how to say that? Neighborhood, thank you. Yeah, of my neighborhood. So you have many neighborhoods. So how can we create an identity of the neighborhood and be more sustainable? So bring this really where you live. It's quite amazing. And there are many others. There was one that I like very much, which is the campaign for conscient consumers. So how can I buy better on my city? And also, if you go, for example, on the Instagram of Asunción Maé, it's very designed for people. So for example, what can I do with my, with my trash? So where there is collection for my trash, specific trash. So there are many topics that are for the citizens, but also for the companies. For example, Rio de Janeiro in Brazil started with analyzing the impact of 22 companies, and then putting the impacts together and into the city's mayor to increase the impact on Rio de Janeiro. So that's how cities are starting to mobilize people around the idea of generating positive impact. So There are many examples. So just for you to have an idea, there are cities also in Europe, many cities, for example, in Barcelona is becoming a big city, also Edinburgh on Scotland, and many other cities. So, and everything that they do is available on the web. So there are many information about that. So to finish up my collaboration here, I would just like to end up with a thinking that I love, and I think it applies to companies, to people, and to cities also. So it's a quote for Oliver Wendell Holmes that says, "Most of us go to our graves with our music is still inside us, unplayed." So what he means is that sometimes we go through our lives without being our true essence, doing what we really believe, you know? And I know many people here are already doing that. So we must help people to do that. And not only people, organizations and cities to be their essence. That's what we should do. So thank you very much. I'm completely available for more discussions and questions at the end. Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation, Eduardo. Thank you for your facilitation. And let's go to the other topics.
Thank you very much, Paulo. Very clarifying. I like the way you covered this topic, because it's very important to understand the role of companies and the role of people inside the companies, and how their impact in especially cities. We live, as you said in the beginning, we live in cities. We have to we should not take cities for granted, because cities are the extension of our houses. And I think companies are the most impact organizations in cities. And for those who are new in the room, we are talking about innovation and sustainability in cities. And now we have here in the room the Vice Mayor of Curitiba, Eduardo Pimentel. Is he here? Is he not? I don't think he's here anymore. He just entered. He entered the room, but he left. I think he's having some problem with the connection. But I'm gonna start making some questions with you, Paulo. And maybe if the mayor comes back, we put him into the conversation. Paulo, what do you think today? Do you think that small and medium enterprises can afford implementing ESG policies? What are the main challenges for small and medium enterprises to implementing these kind of policies for their organizations, for their planning, strategy, and so on?
The first thing that we have to understand is that the ESG, or the social impact, or the positive impact, is not a separate thing of the business. It must be integrated. If you want just to help ONG giving them money, that's great, that's needed, and we need philanthropy. But the impact will be much stronger if it is connected to what you do. And if you are a small company, you say, okay, but I don't know, I produce softwares. How can I create more impact without increasing my costs, because I'm on the margin here? I cannot even engage someone new because I don't have the money. So, but if social impact and ESG makes sense to you, it is in your heart, then, for example, you can start looking at your operation and seeing, okay, where can I have more impact? So is it on engaging people? If it is on engaging people, how about instead of just like creating like a job description and receiving curriculum, you just create a 2-hour program on, for example, training on programming, or training on something you are good. Perfect. You open this to many people, to people from communities, and you open the possibility. Then people come, you training, you spread this curriculum to your partners, even to your competitors, and select people there could be with you. You spend the same hours that you're going to spend analyzing curriculum, but you will give something. So these small things that don't cost for you that you can do, or increasing your purchases, looking for supplies that are sustainable, or many ideas. And where can they have these ideas? And then I normally say, use the B impact assessment. It's a free tool to have an entire assessment of your impact, and you have a plan at the end that you can select the ideas that you can implement without costs. So if it is in your heart and you want to do it, there are some ways that you can do without costing too much. So this is normally how I start talking to small business owners.
Awesome. I think we should start creating a program and communicate that more, because we intend to do that as well. And I think we need to show the benefits more and more for these people, because I think most of them have no idea that this is possible, right, Paulo? And the communication is very important. That's why we're going to talk about doing that in our event next year. We're going to talk about that. My next question to you, I just talked to Eduardo here, the vice mayor. He's having some connection problems, so I'm going to keep on doing some questions to you. Paulo, how do you think, talking about the public sector, how do you think the public sector and also society and also us citizens could help build and enhance the B movement for cities? And not only companies, but the public sector and the society. How do you think it's our role in this process?
So there are some streams for the government, for example, so helping to create policies that are very simple but complex at the same time. They are policies that help us increase the development of companies that are looking for impact, that are doing impact. So we have many laws that were approved in many provinces, for example, in Brazil already, and they just are policies that further the economic development of this company. So, for example, some city halls have a policy for buying sustainable. So they will give more points for the companies that prove social impact on the sheet of deciding which company they buy from. So this is one example, but mainly one easy way is sharing with companies and with citizens the plans of the city. So, for example, Curitiba is entering on the circular economy pathway right now for the future. So, how can companies and us be connected with the circularity? So, there are many public offerings. So, for example, the special selection of trash, or there are companies that are connecting their impacts to the objectives of the city. So this connection is possible when you put everyone at the same table. And us as citizens, we can start, first of all, understanding how we can generate impact in our home with the people who lives with us and the people we can relate. And then normally it will go through everything that you do. So it's the first lesson is, okay, am I good for this planet? Am I generating good for this planet? Where I'm doing this, where I'm not? And then I can understand taking more actions, because then the actions will sum up and more people will come. And I say this to finish up from a place of personal experience, because I was always looking at that, but it was hard to achieve. But as soon as I started doing, I just found more people that were doing the same thing, and it became easier. because you start connecting. So the field is very open, and we have the tools now. So this is amazing. So that's a little way that we could start.
I think, yeah, I think we need to share these tools. I'm very curious to know about how people can start doing that and how government can start doing that. I'm curious about what Curitiba is doing. That's one of the questions I would ask the vice mayor. But it's okay. Things happen, and things in politics happens that way. But I have another question for you, Paul. I think just the debate that I'm having with you, it's been enough for the subject, as you have a large and enormous experience in that subject. One of the other questions for you is that what are the main achievements do you think this BEEP movement have made in the past few years? I mean, in terms of KPIs, do you have some KPIs to share with us on companies in Brazil, around the globe, that the BEEP movement have made companies to achieve?
That's an awesome question, and that is something we are working on right now to have KPIs from sectors. So, for example, how did we increase impact? But one of the main ways to see that is the Best for the World website, which is all the companies that perform the best in generating impact. There are B Corps. They get a prize called Best for the World, and there you have many indicators of how companies are increasing impact. But I can give some very qualitative examples that I like. So, for example, you know that Danone is certifying gradually. They want to be a complete B Corp at the end of in 4 years. But they are certifying the operations. And while they were certifying, they perceived something that the B Lab was not asking them, which was, you know, that I sell artificial breast milk, you know, the powder one for kids, milk for kids. And then they said, you are not asking me if I do that, if I do advertising for that, that goes against actually furthering or talking to the consumers that they should actually breast milk, not using the artificial if they can. So are you seeing if I'm advertising too much on this, and then moms are not breastfeeding? And then B Lab said, oh, that's an amazing question. And then they did a study, and then it entered on the BIA analysis. So now, if you are a company, so for example, a big retail company, and you are selling this alternative milks for kids, you have to prove that you are not trying to sell them to people, or if you are trying to sell them on the top of helping moms understand that breast milk is better. So we are, with one company trying to increase the impact, we are expanding this to many other companies and making the business better. So we have some examples of that are amazing on improving the impact. And about numbers, we can see that the number of B Corps are increasing exponentially. So we are more and more having businesses that are creating impact while they are operating. So and I will go to this Best for the World website and see all the data that there is there. It's quite impressive.
Amazing. I think as I said, I think 3 times now talking to you, we need to communicate that. We need to understand how to communicate that amongst several companies, amongst put that into the media more often. And I think that will help companies to understand how they can start doing those actions. And you know that this is one of our goals. The ICITIES goals is to help doing that. But I think we're moving forward. I think we have lots to do, but I think I'm happy to see that We have a lot of people talking about that, and especially you, Paulo. You have been doing an amazing job towards bringing the bee movement for people. And I'm just gonna take the advantage here and salute the Vice Mayor Eduardo that just entered here. Eduardo, can you? Now there you are. Hi, Eduardo. How are you?
Hello, my friends. How are you, Eduardo, Paulo, Cruz, my friend Andreas? I'm sorry about my late here. I'm with problems with connection here. I'm in the street now, so maybe we'll fall again. But I'm happy to be here. I have been in Andes. It was a really special time when I learned a lot about smart cities. I love this. I like this. Our city is a smart city. We want to make more and more investments on a smart city and sustainability. We are really worried with our entrepreneurs that
This is the life of a real politician that's in the streets, taking care of real city issues in real time. I think this is normal, but that's okay. I think we have covered lots of subjects here with Paulo, with a little introduction from Eduardo. I don't think we're gonna need to worry about him. I thank everyone that were here with us today, and I invite you to go to the next session, which is SDGs and the Decade of Action. Jonas Hertel, Chief of Executive Director of CUnitar. Eduardo is trying to come again, but he just fell off. So I think we're not gonna. Hi, Eduardo.
I'm back. I'm really sorry. How can I speak with smart city and with my bad connection? I'm sorry about that. I'm always available to speak with smart city. Thank you for this opportunity. Maybe later, if I can come back and speak a little bit more about our programs, about our sustainability. I'm sorry, my friend Eduardo, about this. And I want to send a hug for my friend Andreas and Gustavo and Norman Arruda that make my trip to Nantes really good. I speak about this a lot here in Curitiba. We are investing a lot in solar panels here in our city, new energies, solar energies. So I'm really happy to speak with you and make me apologize for this bad connection I'm here. So my friend Eduardo, I'm sorry really about this.
Don't worry, Eduardo. I think if everyone wants to get to know more the Curitiba projects, there are lots of things in the internet. You can access the website, the official Curitiba website, and get to know some of what Curitiba is doing. And also, especially in our event, the Smart City Expo Curitiba, that will take place in 24th and 25th of March next year. So again, thank you all for being here with us today. And I invite you to go to the next session. Paulo, great to hear from you. Great to talk to you. I hope to see you soon in person so that we can talk more about this subject. Okay.
Thank you so much. See you soon, man. My friend.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you so much. Thank you all.